Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Anubha Rohatgi and with me is Renuka with the evening news. The headlines. National Investigation Agency conducts searches at premises linked to Popular Front of India in several states. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend funeral of former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in Tokyo on 27 September. India objects to Khalistan referendum in Canada. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar says freedom of expression is non-negotiable, inaugurates third edition of Lok Manthan program in Guwahati. Ministry of Defence signs deal for acquisition of additional dual-role capable surface-to-surface BrahMos missiles with BrahMos Aerospace Private Limited under Buy Indian category. In a first-of-its-kind historic move, current monsoon session in Uttar Pradesh legislature holds a women-only day today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate National Conference of Environment Ministers tomorrow in Gujarat through video conferencing. Union Home Minister Amit Shah to be on a two-day visit to Bihar beginning tomorrow. And in T20 cricket, second match between India and Australia to be played tomorrow at Vidarbha Cricket Association Stadium in Nagpur. The National Investigation Agency NIA, the Enforcement Directorate ED and State Police today jointly carried out searches in different parts of the country. The NIA carried out searches at 93 locations in 15 states: Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Delhi, Assam, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Goa, West Bengal, Bihar and Manipur. These searches were conducted at the houses and offices of the top PFI leaders and members in connection with 5 cases registered by the NIA following continued inputs and evidence that the PFI leaders and cadres were involved in funding terrorism and terrorist activities, organizing training camps for providing arms training, and radicalizing people to join banned organizations. A large number of criminal cases have been registered by different states over the last few years against the PFI and its leaders and members for their involvement in many violent acts. Criminal violent acts carried out by the PFI, such as chopping off the hand of a college professor, cold-blooded killings of persons associated with organizations espousing other faiths, collection of explosives to target prominent people and places, support to the Islamic State, and destruction of public property have had a demonstrative effect on striking terror in the minds of the citizens. During the searches conducted today morning, incriminating documents, cash, sharp-edged weapons, and a large number of digital devices were seized. The NIA has made 45 arrests in these cases. While 19 accused have been arrested from Kerala, 11 have been arrested from Tamil Nadu, 7 from Karnataka, 4 from Andhra Pradesh, 2 from Rajasthan, and 1 each from Uttar Pradesh and Telangana. The NIA is investigating a total of 19 PFI-related cases.
The Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh RSS Chief Dr. Mohan Bhagwat today visited a mosque and a madrasa in Delhi and held discussions with the chief of the All India Imam Organization, Imam Umar Ahmad Ilyasi. The closed-door meeting lasted for more than an hour. Dr. Bhagwat was accompanied by senior RSS functionaries Krishan Gopal, Ramlal and Indresh Kumar. RSS spokesperson Sunil Ambekar said the RSS Sarsang Chalak meets people from all walks of life and today's meeting was a part of a continuous dialogue process. In the last few days, Dr. Bhagwat has met several Muslim leaders and intellectuals. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Japan on the 27th of this month to attend the funeral of former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in Tokyo. Briefing media in New Delhi this afternoon, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said Mr. Modi will also meet his Japanese counterpart Fumio Kishida during the visit. Replying to a media query, Mr. Bagchi urged Indian nationals to exercise caution before taking up job offers in Thailand. He said they are aware of IT companies recruiting Indian workers on the pretext of employment opportunities in Thailand, who are then taken illegally to Myanmar. He said, due to the efforts of Indian missions in Thailand and Myanmar, the rescue of some of the victims has been facilitated. He stressed that the visa on arrival scheme in Thailand does not permit employment. He said Indian embassies in Thailand and Myanmar have issued advisories in this regard, and the matter has also been taken up with the governments of Thailand and Myanmar. On the Khalistan referendum in Canada, the spokesperson termed it as a farcical exercise that was held by extremist and radical elements in Canada. He said the matter has been taken up with Canadian authorities through diplomatic channels. He said the Government of India will continue to press the Government of Canada on this matter.
Basically, we would term it as a farcical exercise. A farcical exercise was held by the extremists and radical elements supporting the so-called Khalistan referendum in Canada and elsewhere, I think. The matter has been taken up with the Canadian authorities through diplomatic channels. The Government of Canada has reiterated that they respect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of India, and they will not recognize the so-called referendum which is taking place in Canada. However, we find it deeply objectionable that politically motivated exercises by extremist elements are allowed to take place in a friendly country. You are all aware of the history of violence in this regard, and the Government of India will continue to press the Government of Canada on this matter.
The Global Clean Energy Action Forum 2022 kick-started last evening at Pennsylvania in the United States. The Action Forum began with an opening ceremony at the Heinz History Center. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh is leading a high-level joint Indian ministerial official delegation of the Ministry of Power, New and Renewable Energy and the Ministry of Science and Technology. He joined energy ministers from 30 other countries for the environmental summit. Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates and U.S. Special Presidential Envoy for Climate John Kerry are also among the expected attendees at the Global Clean Energy Action Forum. Dr. Jitendra Singh said that he is looking forward to participating in the Clean Tech Leaders Roundtable tomorrow, besides meeting leading world scientists and academicians and the Indian diaspora. The minister noted that the Global Clean Energy Action Forum meeting offers India an opportunity to present Prime Minister Narendra Modi's climate and clean energy vision to the world. The India-Israel-UAE-USA I2U2 Sherpas met on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York on the 20th of this month. India was represented by the Secretary Economic Relations in the Ministry of External Affairs, Dammu Ravi. The External Affairs Ministry said in a release that the group expressed its commitment to deepening the economic partnership among the four countries. They took stock of the projects identified under the I2U2. These include setting up of food parks in India and a hybrid renewable energy project in Gujarat's Dwarka. The group agreed to continue to work closely in line with the outcome of the Leaders' Summit in July this year.
Ambassador of Iran Dr. Ali Chegeni paid a farewell call to Foreign Secretary Vinay Quatra in Delhi today. They reviewed the progress in bilateral relations. Foreign Secretary Quatra congratulated the ambassador on completing a successful tenure and wished him luck in the future endeavours. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar has said debates and discussions are the souls of good governance and free ideas must flow for social harmony. He was speaking after inaugurating the third edition of the Lok Manthan program in Guwahati today. Mr. Dhankar said intolerance of the other's point of view is very frequent in the present times. He underscored that freedom of expression is non-negotiable and greater responsibility rests with the members of civil society to protect the views of the marginalized. The Vice President said programs like Lok Manthan are important as these celebrate the culture and ethos of our country. It is highlighting the northeastern states and facilitates a dialogue that will bring out our traditional knowledge and heritage for other parts of India. He also said this will provide an opportunity for public discourse.
The Ministry of Defence signed a contract today with Messrs. BrahMos Aerospace Private Limited BAPL for the acquisition of additional dual-role capable surface-to-surface BrahMos missiles at an overall approximate cost of 1,700 crore rupees under the Buy Indian category. This will provide further impetus to Atmanirbharta in defence production. Induction of these dual-role capable missiles is going to significantly enhance the operational capability of Indian Navy fleet assets. Notably, BAPL is a joint venture between India and Russia, making a crucial contribution to augmenting the new generation of surface-to-surface missiles with enhanced range and dual-role capability for land as well as anti-ship attacks. This contract is going to give a further boost to indigenous production of the critical weapon system and ammunition with the active participation of indigenous industry. Minister of Communications and Electronics and Information Technology, Ashwani Vaishnav, today said Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch the 5G service in the country in the first week of October. Speaking at the Global FinTech Festival 2022 in Mumbai, Mr. Vaishnav said within 2 years the government will be able to take the 5G service to a large part of the country. Emphasizing that every village deserves digital services, the minister said $30 billion would be spent on reaching out to the villages and hamlets for last-mile connectivity. He said the 4G bandwidth at present and 5G bandwidth in the future will be connected to these villages to enable the youth from the region to put their creative energy in use to participate in the digital journey under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Union Minister for Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairy, Purushottam Rupala flagged off the second leg of the Sagar Parikrama Yatra 2022 at Mangrol, Gujarat today. Addressing a large public gathering at Ram Leela Maidan of Mangrol, the minister said Prime Minister Narendra Modi has allocated a huge grant of 20,000 crore rupees under the PM Matsya Sampada Yojana for the upliftment of sea farmers. In addition to this, a budget of 15,000 crore rupees has been allocated for the infrastructural development of the fisheries sector, he added. The centre is taking several measures to enhance the production of pulses and oilseeds through the distribution of feed minikits of pulses and oilseeds for this Rabi season. For Rabi 2022-23, the government is providing these seed minikits targeting monsoon deficit regions in the states, apart from the regular distribution. States which received low rainfall during the Kharif season, such as Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Jharkhand, will receive these kits. The mini-kits are being provided by central agencies and these are wholly funded by the government.
A high-level team of the Election Commission of India headed by the Chief Election Commissioner CEC Rajiv Kumar and Election Commissioner of India Anup Chandra Pandey is on a 3-day visit to Shimla to review the election preparedness in Himachal Pradesh for the upcoming assembly elections. The team visited the polling station at Government Senior Secondary School Dharampur in Solan district on the first day today and inaugurated the fascia of the polling station. In Tripura, the BJP IPFT candidate and former CM Biplab Kumar Deb has been elected for Rajya Sabha. He got 43 seats while CPIM candidate got 15 votes. Total votes cast were 58.
In a first of its kind historic move, the current monsoon session in Uttar Pradesh Assembly held a women-only day today. Only women legislators spoke and raised their issues in both the houses today. The whole day was reserved for women members to raise women-centric issues.
Right after the question hour, women members were given the chance to speak about their issues and problems in both the houses of assembly. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath initiated the day-long session during which only women members spoke in the house. He said that the session at the country's largest legislature would set an example. He assured the women members of the house that whatever issues and problems they will raise, government will sympathetically work to solve them. Many women members thanked the government for this initiative and said that it's the power of democracy that a whole day was reserved for the women. MLA of Apna Dal, Dr. Surbhi Singh said that it was a proud and historic moment of her life.
आज का दिन भारत की राजनीति में स्वर्णिम अक्षरों में लिखा जाएगा 22 सितंबर 2022। इसके लिए मैं विधानसभा अध्यक्ष जी का बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करती हूँ और मैं माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी का भी आभार व्यक्त करती हूँ कि उन्होंने आज सुबह हम सभी को उत्साहवर्धन करते हुए ये बात कही कि जो भी माननीय महिला सदस्य अपने मुद्दे उठाएंगी उस पे विचार होगा और उस पे जरूर उस चीज का समाधान होगा अगर वो विधानसभा क्षेत्र से जुड़ी हुई।
Relaxing the rules, women members were also given the chance to run the house on this historic day. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Speaker of Nagaland Legislative Assembly, NLA, Mr. Sharingayan Longkumer, adjourned the House sine die after 2 days of sittings. The 12th session of the 13th NLA commenced on 20th September and concluded today, which is also the last session before the state goes for election early next year.
In Jammu and Kashmir, the government today imposed a complete ban on the import of bovine animals from neighbouring states and inter-district movement within the UT for any purpose till 25th October 2022.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. National Investigation Agency conducts searches at premises linked to Popular Front of India in several states. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend funeral of former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in Tokyo on 27th of September. India objects to Khalistan referendum in Canada. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar says freedom of expression is non-negotiable, inaugurates third edition of Lok Manthan program in Guwahati. Ministry of Defence finds deal for acquisition of additional dual-role capable surface-to-surface BrahMos missiles with BrahMos Aerospace Private Limited under Buy Indian category. In a first-of-its-kind historic move, current monsoon session in Uttar Pradesh legislature holds a women-only day today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate National Conference of Environment Ministers tomorrow in Gujarat through video conferencing. Union Home Minister Amit Shah to be on a 2-day visit to Bihar beginning tomorrow. And in T20 cricket, second match between India and Australia to be played tomorrow at Vidarbha Cricket Association Stadium in Nagpur. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
न्यू इंडिया समाचार, नए भारत का संकल्प, सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास और सबका प्रयास। समाज में गरीब और कमजोर तबकों के लिए सरकार की चल रही कल्याणकारी योजनाओं और कार्यक्रमों से जुड़ी जानकारी पाएं। सरकार के इन कदमों के बारे में जानें और लाभ उठाएं। आकाशवाणी पर अब सुनिए जन कल्याण के सरोकार दोपहर 3 बजे से हर शनिवार। सुनिए न्यू इंडिया समाचार आकाशवाणी के साथ।
Welcome back to the evening news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate tomorrow the National Conference of Environment Ministers in Gujarat through video conferencing. He will also address the gathering on the occasion. Taking forward the spirit of cooperative federalism, the conference is being convened to create further synergy amongst the central and state governments in formulating better policies on various issues. The 2-day conference will have 6 thematic sessions on topics including forestry management, prevention and control of pollution, wildlife, plastics and waste management, and combating climate change. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today reviewed the ongoing construction works in Badrinath and Kedarnath through virtual medium and also inquired about the progress of construction works. The Prime Minister said the number of devotees to Kedarnath and Badrinath will increase rapidly in the coming days. He said that along with Badrinath, a plan should also be made to develop the surrounding areas as a model. Attention should also be paid to developing the Mana village and its surrounding areas for rural tourism, added Mr. Modi. Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami informed that reconstruction works in Badrinath and Kedarnath are going on at a fast pace. A target has been set to complete all the work by December 2023.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah will be on a 2-day visit to Bihar beginning tomorrow. Mr. Shah will go to Purnia and Kishanganj to participate in various programs. This will be the first visit of Mr. Amit Shah to Bihar after Chief Minister Nitish Kumar-led Janata Dal United broke ties with the BJP. The Union Minister will address the Jan Bhavan rally tomorrow at Rangbhumi Maidan in Purnia. Bihar BJP President Sanjay Jaiswal said the visit of Mr. Amit Shah is significant amid the changed political scenario in the state.
इस बार पूर्णिया में हो रहा है, खास जरूर है क्योंकि यहाँ पर इस इलाके में बहुत तरह के चैलेंजेस भी हैं। सभी में इतना उत्साह है, प्रत्येक व्यक्ति में है कि माननीय गृह मंत्री जी का इस इलाके में आगमन और इस इलाके के लोगों से सीधे वार्तालाप, यह अपने आप में बहुत बड़ी बात है। और इस इलाके के जो भी समस्याएं हैं, जो चैलेंजेस हैं, माननीय गृह मंत्री जी उसका फर्स्ट हैंड एक्सपीरियंस भी लेंगे। हम तो 36 सीट पर कम से कम जीतेंगे, लेकिन जदयू का खाता बिहार में खुलेगा कि नहीं, इसमें भी उनकी शंका है।
After addressing the public meeting, Mr. Amit Shah will hold a meeting with office bearers of the party in Kishanganj. Union Minister for Ayurveda, Yoga and Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy, Ayush Sarbanand Sonowal today said that India is now a global leader in traditional medicine. He emphasized that setting up of a WHO Global Center for Traditional Medicine in Jamnagar in Gujarat is a recognition of the country's leadership role in the propagation of ancient values, wisdom and heritage. He was speaking in Bengaluru today at the inaugural session of the International Conference on Exploring Consciousness from Non-Duality to Non-Locality organized in Nimhans.
More than 217 crore 11 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare said over 15 lakh 85,000 doses were administered in the last 24 hours. The Commandant of Army Hospital Research and Referral, New Delhi, Lieutenant General Ashok Jindal, has said that the military nursing service is rendering exemplary service to troops and their families in hospitals in India as well as at the United Nations peacekeeping missions abroad. Addressing the nursing graduates of the 5th batch of College of Nursing, Army Hospital Research and Referral at the commissioning ceremony in New Delhi today, Lieutenant General Jindal exhorted the young lieutenants to uphold the dignity and ethics of nursing and to keep abreast with advancing medical technologies.
Over the past 75 years since independence, India's largest public service broadcaster, All India Radio, has been the proverbial storyteller for crores of people across the country. All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom with the series Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani ke Saath. It showcases the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through the storytelling of All India Radio. In today's episode, we will bring you the story of policies which ensured food security in the country.
Food security means that all people at all times have physical, social and economic access to sufficient safe and nutritious food. India went through a green revolution in the late 1960s and early 1970s, which significantly improved its food grain production. The green revolution was followed by the white revolution under Operation Flood in the 1970s and 1980s. This initiative has revolutionized liquid milk production in the country, making it the largest producer of milk. In order to achieve food security in an equitable manner to all the citizens of India, Parliament enacted National Food Security Act NFSA 2013. It is the largest social welfare program of the world which ensures access to adequate quantity of quality food at affordable prices to people to live a life with dignity. Special focus is given on the nutritional support of women and children. Nowhere in the world a public distribution system as big in India has been run. It stabilizes food prices and makes food available to poor. PDS not only delivered during COVID-19 pandemic but also improved in many ways. Prime Minister Narendra Modi introduced Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana for free distribution of food grains to feed about 81 crore people per month.
साल 2014 के बाद नए सिरे से काम शुरू किया गया, नई टेक्नोलॉजी को इस परिवर्तन का माध्यम बनाया गया, राशन कार्ड को आधार से लिंक किया और सरकारी राशन की दुकानों में डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी को प्रोत्साहित किया गया। आज संक्रमण के साथ साथ भूखमरी का भी भीषण संकट आ गया है, लेकिन भारत ने संक्रमण की आहट के पहले दिन से ही इस संकट को पहचाना और इस पर काम किया। इसलिए आज दुनिया भर में प्रधानमंत्री गरीब कल्याण अन्न योजना की प्रशंसा हो रही है। मकसद एक ही है, कोई भारत का मेरा भाई बहन, मेरा कोई भारतवासी भूखा न रहे।
UN World Food Programme has hailed India's food security during the pandemic. Bisho Parajuli Programme Representative and Country Director, UNWFP, said the vulnerable and marginalized families in India were continued to be buffered against food crisis by its robust, targeted public distribution system. Parajuli said providing ration free of cost to 75% of the rural population and 50% of the urban population under Antyodaya Anna Yojana and priority households.
India's transformation in agriculture in the last 50 years from food deficit country with 50 million tons plus to now the estimated harvest prospects is about 316 million is a major transformation. The Food Safety Net program India runs assisting nearly 1 billion people is one of the greatest examples. Plus the various support program India has supporting small farmers, support in agriculture inputs, the financial provisions, the market, the whole supply chain networks. The World Food Programme is really delighted for India's offer of partnership, and of course India's support is absolutely warmly welcome, and in WFP we want to see this only as a beginning.
Integration of Aadhaar with PDS helps in better identification of beneficiaries. One Nation, One Ration Card ONORC scheme helps digitization portability of ration cards, SMS-based monitoring and web-based portals, and bring ease of life to beneficiaries. The implementation of ONORC scheme was initiated in August 2019. This ensures seamless delivery of subsidized food security entitlements to all beneficiaries covered under the National Food Security Act, irrespective of the physical location. The ONORC scheme empowers the migratory population, laborers, daily wages, rag pickers, street dwellers and temporary workers in organized and unorganized sectors who frequently change their place of dwelling to be self-reliant in food security. Mera Ration mobile application has been launched to provide real-time information about ONORC to the beneficiaries and is available in 13 languages.
देश भर में धूम मचाए ज्ञान का ये उपहार, मोबाइल पे आजादी क्वेस्ट आया आजादी का इतिहास। डाउनलोड करे आजादी क्वेस्ट, खेलो जीतो ढेरों इनाम, मौका पाए जुड़ने का रेडियो और डीडी के साथ। सिर्फ खेल नहीं उत्सव है, आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव है, आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव है।
डाउनलोड करें आजादी क्वेस्ट ऐप और पाएं ढेरों इनाम।
A local court in Varanasi today issued notice to the Anjuman Intizamiya Committee in the Gyanvapi Shringar Gauri case to file their objections on the demand for carbon dating of the items recovered during the survey. The demand was made by the Hindu side. The court has decided 29th of September as the next date for hearing. District Judge A.K. Vishwesh also rejected the demand by the Anjuman Intizamiya Committee to provide a time of 8 weeks and said that since the Apex Court has not put any stay on the proceedings of the case, then the hearing will continue. The court has also asked Anjuman Intizamiya Committee to file their objection on the demand of other petitioners who want to become parties in this case.
A collection of selected speeches of Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be released at the Akashvani Bhavan in New Delhi tomorrow. The book titled Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, Prime Minister Narendra Modi Speaks, portrays the Prime Minister's vision of a new India. The book release function will be graced by former Vice President of India M. Venkaiah Naidu, Governor of Kerala Arif Muhammad Khan, and Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur. Secretary of Information and Broadcasting Ministry Apurv Chandra and other officials will also be present at the event. The Supreme Court today appointed former Apex Court Judge Justice L. Nageshwara Rao for amending the Constitution of the Indian Olympic Association IOA and preparing the Electoral College. A bench headed by Justice D.Y. Chandrachud said the ex-top court judge would ensure a fair and development-oriented approach for the future of the Olympics in the country.
Roger Federer's final match will see him play alongside old rivals Rafael Nadal in the Lever Cup doubles in London tomorrow. The second T20 match between India and Australia will be played tomorrow at Vidarbha Cricket Association Stadium, Nagpur. The match will start at 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi is expected to have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Mumbai will also have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature will be 23 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 26 degrees. Kolkata will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers, and Chennai is expected to have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunder shower. And before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. National Investigation Agency conducts searches at premises linked to Popular Front of India in several states. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend funeral of former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in Tokyo on 27 September. India objects to Khalistan referendum in Canada. Vice President Jagdeep Thankar says freedom of expression is non-negotiable, inaugurates third edition of Lokmanthan program in Guwahati. Ministry of Defence signs deal for acquisition of additional dual-role capable surface-to-surface BrahMos missiles with BrahMos Aerospace Private Limited under Buy Indian category. In a first-of-its-kind historic move, the current monsoon session in Uttar Pradesh legislature holds a women-only day today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate National Conference of Environment Ministers tomorrow in Gujarat through video conferencing. Home Minister Amit Shah to be on a 2-day visit to Bihar beginning tomorrow, and in T20 cricket, second match between India and Australia to be played tomorrow at Nagpur. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.